Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Did y'all see this? Barack Obama and his message.
Yeah, bro. Listen, I was like prophetic on this, bro. I literally did the day before this happened, or a couple days before this happened, the video about black men are tired of being lectured, bro.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
No, that's what I'm saying. And then he came out and he did this.
You're thinking about sitting down or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable. You're thinking about sitting down or even.
And so this is a small clip, right? What did you guys initially think about this? You know, his message to black men. Someone who has a history of denigrating you, denigrating women, etc., etc. He's saying that y'all trying to be contrary for the sake of being contrary. Like it shows a level of strength. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so the classic you don't know no better, do as you're told, white man, racism. We're not gonna give you nothing for your vote, but even though we're not gonna give you nothing for your vote, don't try to get out here and try to prove a point or try to show anything. Just do what you're told and do what you're supposed to
do. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely speaks to a more progressive agenda, which is fine, right? Like, my political sensibilities are what they are. But I don't know if he's really parsed out the difference between making corrections, airing grievances, or putting people down. A lot of times they can sound like the same thing, those three, but they're very different. So, I mean, I would need context, but yeah, I mean, heard it all before.
So are you unmoved by this messaging?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in putting people down, especially black women. I love black women, and
Aaron. Sending yourself.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. So I've always been, had a feeling, been protective of black women, right? But no, nothing about that moves me. I mean, maybe with greater context, but it's just where we are right now. The back and forth conversation, because in the 80s and 90s, it was, there's an ebb and flow, like the economy. It's exchange. This is where we are right now. It's all about the women, so it'll come back around on us.
Mr. Fantastic, were you unmoved by these sentiments?
Of course, obviously. I'm a grown man. I voted in a lot of us voted for Barack Obama twice. The majority of black people, I think that was the highest like ever, like 99-98%. And someone in the chat can enlighten us, but I think it was damn near 100% of black people voted for Barack Obama, like both times. And we got nothing out of the situation other than the first black president, when again he wasn't black, he's a African. His dad's African, his mom was white. And the identity politics, man, I think the men specifically have learned better, and we're doing better, and that's a problem.
The African is crazy.
Another fantastic original.
Brother.
Man, I'm listening to it, and I just don't understand how you expect to obtain votes by guilt tripping. Does that work? Maybe.
Yeah, it has worked.
If you vote for such and such, you ain't black. I remember that one.
Yeah, it's worked.
What was the response in this room? I can't remember. Probably nothing.
No, during Obama, this one right here.
Yeah, what was the response?
Nothing. Just a lot of just looking and quiet and silence. No one spoke up at the time. But most of the time when they have those things together, those people are people that are he's not talking to them. They're just there for fillers. So I'm pretty sure everyone that was already in that room is a Democratic voter, hands down, blue, no matter who. So he wasn't going to get any pushback in that forum. But if you put him in a room full of actual black men, just random people, especially like I said, a lot of brothers that came out and had things to say. You heard about the Magic Johnson too, right?
Yeah, what break it down though.
So Magic Johnson did the same thing
Yeah.
in Detroit, right? Like probably a week before. And it's just like everybody's targeting us, black men, you better, black men, you need to, black men this, black men that. And it's like, Magic, look at your son, brother. Love you as a basketball player, all-time great. All right, best PG ever, the point guard. Okay, never be replaced. But Magic, you ain't finna tell me nothing about what I need to be doing as a black man, brother. Sorry.
You think
your son out here with a size 17 pump, 6-inch stiletto. Come on, stop it, brother. In men's hemp.
Does that negate his messaging?
Hell yeah. It's like, black men, you better. Black men, you better? What?
There's a lot of black men in here, and I don't mean to, not talk to other people, but this is important. Our black men, we got to get them out to vote. That's number one. Kamala's opponent promised a lot of things last time to the black community that he did not deliver on. And we got to make sure we help black men understand that. So that's why I'm here, to make sure I help black men understand. First, get out and vote, and then vote for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. There's a lot of black men in here, and I don't.
So is our vote in that much contention? What did Trump do? Are black men voting for Trump or against Kamala?
No. So last time it was black and Hispanic men voted out at the highest rates, like ever for from the Republican. from the Democratic Party. They voted Republican for Trump. So this is going to trend the same way. And like you said, what is actually happening is these polls are starting to, really, really shake out the closer we get. I don't think a lot of people, bro, we're less than a month away from the voting for president is literally the Tuesday after the event, right?
Yeah.
So you're less than 30 days down. And again, just to see just how atrocious that, Kamala has, did in these interviews and all these different things, I think is just going back to the reason why she couldn't even make it out of the primary the first time. She's not likable. She's not knowledgeable. She's just not a good candidate for, any major political fucking party. Position,
Okay.
excuse me.
So is he better than her?
Trump? Hell yeah. Hands down. People forget Trump was president, bro. Trump was president. Okay. And again, I am not, I gotta say this. I am not a Republican. I am not MAGA. I am not pro-Trump. I'm what I like to call a what workative. Okay, I understand how politics is supposed to work. Okay, you go back and you look at what Donald Trump did. They always want to talk about, he created all this money for trillions of dollars in debt and all this. Bro, for the first time in forever, America was exporting oil and natural gas, bro. Okay, we were making money. We had, outside of that, like you said, another thing that got revealed a lot was we're so dependent upon China, man. China was able to literally shut us down because of quote unquote the lockdowns and them not being willing to ship anything out of the country. So Trump was trying to keep companies in the country. He was punishing companies that would dare leave and go try to make cheaper stuff in Mexico, China, or whatever. He was hitting them hard with the tariffs and all these different things. Because again, man, you have to, to make America great again, was this thing that he was talking about. It's like, bro, Americans got away from the American way. You can't be, proud to be an American, but everything you got is made in China. Like 99%.
So what do you think? Okay, I understand that. Now, is there any benefit to black people directly, or are you saying how he operates is beneficial just overall?
No, so yeah, no, just like Barack Obama said, and the same thing Kamala Harris said, nobody's gonna do anything directly for black people until we get an actual black male president, not half, not nah, like black. You know what I'm saying? Blackity black, because I'm black, y'all. Born and bred here. It's never going to be anything done for us. Even though, like I said, we've seen Barack Obama say he can't do anything for black people, then he turned around and did something for a whole, LGBT community. I tell people all the time, in 8 years, it took the LGBT community to get 8 years what black people took like 200. Everything that black people had to fight for 200 years, they gave to the LGBT community in 2 terms, in 2 presidential terms, right? So overall, no, there's not going to be anything directly, but be able to benefit from the economy. And a lot of black people will tell you this. A lot of people were saying this, bro. Before what's the name hit, bro? Everything was great. Gas was what? Gas was hell. Sometimes gas was under $2. You feel me? And we hadn't seen that since I don't even know when. Under $2 gas. I know we hadn't seen that since like the recession. You feel me? So just the way the economy was, people were working. Black men had the lowest unemployment. A lot of jobs were created. A lot of things, man. So again, like I said, and again, that's not me. Whatever. That's just the facts. Look it up. Don't trust nothing I say. Look at what I'm saying, and you know what I mean.
Okay. Let me ask you before I go to Aaron. What about the overt racism that seemed to pop off under the Trump presidency?
Well, that's what's crazy. It's a brother that's going viral right now that pointed that out. Again, that's another media narrative. No, the overt racism was going on well before Trump even got into office. Remember the thing to where Barack Obama wanted to sit down and have a beer with the professor and the black professor and the police officer. You know what I'm saying? He didn't denigrate that white man and say, "Oh, we need peace, we need this." He didn't say these evil policemen or whatever. But that was a man getting into his own house. That happened under him. Let's see what else. A lot of different things, man, from the racial aspect. The racial climate or racial temperature post civil rights era has improved a lot. I mean, racism is never going to go anywhere. I don't even see why racism is a point of contention, because racism in 99% of the country is not at a rate as to where it's stopping a black person from doing anything. And if you live in a quote unquote sundown town or a place where it's also racist, why the hell you stay there? Move.
It'd be hard to move, but
or get it cracking, like these pro blacks always saying, motherfucker, hey, get it cracking. Go at the white man, go to war, like I tell everybody else to do.
What's your thoughts, Aaron?
On what, Trump and Kamala, or?
Yes.
So Kamala, I mean, I don't think men are really voting against Kamala. I think black men that vote, typically, if they're going to vote, they're pretty well informed, and I think they're making a conscious decision, an educated decision when they vote for Trump. Now, I do believe that most folks that vote for Kamala, specifically black women, they're voting with identity politics, more or less, as the driver. Now, as far as what has Trump done, I mean, well, there's the First Step Act that, it was prison reform. It primarily reformed sentencing laws to reduce recidivism, which, as we know, impacts Black America, specifically Black men. Economically, imposing tariffs on Chinese goods, meaning everybody gets afraid of the word tariff. Well, who's paying the tariff? China is paying the tariff. So it's like, if you want to sell your goods here, fine. You're going to have to pay me. You're going to rent the table before you can start selling shit here, right? Yeah. And, charging companies that leave America to go seek cheap labor in China. All right, if you want to bring that product back, there's going to be a tariff on that. Lifting tariffs in Mexico. See, a lot of people are worried about this wall. Well, lifting the steel tariffs in Mexico helps stimulate a steel economy down there. Maybe they won't need the wall if everybody can get a job down there, right? It's lifted the same steel tariffs in Canada. which, as we know, is a huge oil producer. So stimulating another economy other than just fossil fuels, because you know what the Saudis do. They flood the market and make a mess of everything, even though they're number 3 behind us in Canada in oil production. I think Russia has them beat. But Trump is able to play that game. And yeah, I mean, as a businessman, he's pretty lousy, but that's in personal business ventures. I don't see him treating the United States as a personal business venture. And if there's one thing we know Trump is good at, he's not skilled or talented at anything, really. He's good at surrounding himself with people that are skilled and talented and making them, in a way, predicating their success on his success. So they work a lot harder. He doesn't need to be skilled if the people around him are skilled. Does a head coach need to be able to throw a ball 80 yards in a trash can? No. He goes and gets a quarterback for that. That's what Trump is doing.
And you think he's good at that?
Well, I think he's aware of the global economy because you know, bad business or good business, you're going to have knowledge in the way that world works. You're going to know the lingo. Now, socially, I think his policies are pretty. But unfortunately, I'm socially liberal, but fiscally conservative. He's fiscally conservative, so on that end, I can totally understand. He was gutting Dodd-Frank. You know what Dodd-Frank is?
Mm-hmm.
A 2,000-page dossier that the Obama administration put in place as a way to try to plug the dam, so to speak, from the housing recession. Okay. And I mean, yeah, it kind of did, but it was an overcorrection in my estimation. And the things that he gutted in Dodd-Frank made it better or easier for first-time homeowners, small business owners, people that want to get into real estate investment that don't have a lot of capital. You know what I mean? He started gutting elements in Dodd-Frank to kind of free up the market a little bit. I'm not saying we should go full Reaganomics, because that's what started the fucking housing crash to begin with. Make no mistake. That ball started rolling in 1980. But in a free market capitalist society, you do have to have some wiggle room. I mean, we're not total communists over here, and the Fed already determines the percentage rate. You're gonna be so strict with the way business is done, and that's what Dodd-Frank was. It was 2,000 pages of here's how you do business.
Okay.
Did Trump have to bail out any banks? He didn't. Now, granted, Obama set the market in a trajectory, headed up, right?
Yeah.
But it was coming from low ground. But did Trump spin it the other way? No.
No, he didn't fuck it up. So, okay, I understand that, but it's like just built off of something that was already on an upward trajectory, or at the very least didn't.
Yeah, he's not getting credit. Yeah, he's not getting credit for that.
So why? But so then why? Well, so black men, brown men, what is the lean towards Trump? So let's say I'm not on a side, right? Let's just say, hypothetically say, right? And I want to hear the argument for Trump, right? And then the racism that is perceived. Let's say I have that perception.
Mm-hmm.
What is the why? Right? Yeah.
How would I sell Trump? Easy.
Because even when I asked Mr. Fantastic about the racism, Mr. Fantastic just said racism always exists, and it ain't going nowhere. So, but I don't know if that exonerates him, right? I think if somebody is perceived to be a racist, right, that I would need to answer to that question more so than racism just always ain't gonna go nowhere.
Well,
so
my question.
Well, I was. It is true that racism. Racism is kind of unfortunately still rooted, and you're right. It doesn't exonerate him, but I don't know that I could really call Trump a racist with any indisputable proof.
Okay.
So
one thing that we have.
Why is that the narrative, though? All right. So this is what I need y'all to. I want to understand, right? Okay, we're saying that it can't be proven, is unfounded. But the narrative, are we saying the narrative just came from anywhere, or is it coming from?
The narrative, the narrative literally started after he ran for president. Well, the narrative didn't start after he was president, bro. Again, no one was bringing up the fact of the matter that he ran the ad about the Central Park 5 or whatever until after he ran for president. Again, every rapper was cool with Trump. Donald Trump was one of, I think they said he was the most, like, in rap lyrics, he was the most used name in a positive matter before he became president, bro. So again, once you get into this thing though of where it's us versus them, Democratic versus Republican, I mean, you can bring up this thing to where, oh, now he's just this overt racist. And again, the only thing they which is weak as hell, which again, there's shout out to his brother named Chronicles of Judah that broke this thing down, and a lot of people that would tell you the Central Park 5, again, man, they put themselves in that predicament because they was out there wilding, you know what I'm saying, doing crazy wild shit, you know what I mean, and put themselves in a predicament to where you know, allegedly they got a false confession or whatever, and he based it off of that premise. He based what he said about, hey, these motherfuckers need to be executed and so on and so forth with if they were guilty, with the presumption of them being guilty. And by all accounts, by the evidence, confessions, and all these different things, the same. And what was he supposed to do when, again, it happened allegedly, you know, very, very close to his property, or, you know, something to where he had like investment in, and, you know, his stake in
Wait, Mr. Fantastic. Hold on. Sorry. I got slightly distracted. Did you blame the kids?
Yeah, I blame them. Well, for one, they weren't kids; they were real capable teenagers. And yes, I them just as I would blame my own. If my son is out here,
But wilding mean what though? It just mean you in the park. But they said they were doing a thing called wilding. They didn't understand the lingo or technology.
My understanding from what New York people said, wilding was just like the equivalent of like store raiding and all kinds of other illegal shit.
No, it just like
New York.
They like just wilding. That's it. Like people be wilding and don't be doing that. Like for instance, let me give you an example of wilding. You remember, you seen them pictures where they was dancing on top of the Popeyes? I forget what it was for. It was like something. So people climbed up on top of Popeyes and were like partying and twerking it. So if I look over there, I'm like, yo, them wilding, but ain't nothing violent happening. They just, you know what I mean? Or if the man at the party jumping on all the chicks, dancing with all the chicks, you're like, yo, what happened yesterday? Yo, my nigga, you was wilding yesterday.
Well, no, that wasn't the context of what was going on. They were doing like vandalism and they were breaking property. They were involved in some criminal shit.
They weren't doing something. They weren't doing nothing. Criminal shit. No, they just having fun. They doing too much. You know what I mean? Like niggas be doing too much. Like, yo, you wilding right now. It's not like about fighting or violence or breaking. No, that's not what was happening. But you know, the news media, the people who were trying to understand it, didn't understand the lingo, so they called it wilding. But it was just people saying, "Yo, they was wilding outside." What do y'all say for wild? What would be a substitute terminology from the South?
I'll give you one of mine. Well, I'll give you one of mine, personal one. Behaving like a park ape.
Okay, I'm also looking for the lingo, but okay, I understand that. Yeah, like they was, yeah. So I just don't see blaming the kids. That's all. I don't know.
Hey man,
no,
you learn the lesson the hard way. Don't do shit you ain't supposed to be doing. We give too many excuses to bro that do wild, crazy shit and get themselves in a horrible situation. I had to look into the details as to how and why they eat, but it wasn't just because they was just crazy or whatever in the park, bro. It was some other shit involved with it. That's why five of them, Central Park 5 got caught up, which is crazy, but whatever.